What's up, guys? Not much. It is 1:30 in the morning. So yeah, we are putting in work. It's a little late in the morning, but you guys want to see every step. So this is every step. But yeah, recap so far. We got our car for 1,100 bucks. We got the 5 lug swap for 80 bucks. We were gonna swap out everything and replace the ball joints and the wheel bearings and all that stuff, but I don't have a press in my garage. I don't know anybody with a press, so I figured it's just easier to 5 lug swap and everything bolts on. So that's something you and I could do if you know how to use a wrench. Also, we got some coilovers. Yeah, that price. um, they're kind of shitty coilovers, but we're only working with 5K here, so I didn't want to go blow $1,000 on coilovers. Yeah, so I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus, but yeah, if you paid $1,000 for those coilovers, you're an idiot. If you pay 150 bucks, hey, you only spent 150 bucks. I can't hate you too much, okay? So yeah, we got some coils for 150 bucks, like full body coils. Everybody's probably like, where did he find those? Yeah, Facebook. Just scrolling through Facebook, just like anybody else could do. Saw some kids selling them. I said, hey, let's go get them. Lowballed them, but hey, part of the life. Okay, so yeah, rear camber kit 40 bucks and shift knob 10 bucks. We sold our shift knob for 5 bucks, and that's where we're at. So we got $3,600 left to spend. All right, guys, let's go ahead and roll in this footage of the 5 lug swap for the rear. All right, guys. So picked up 5 lug swap for the EP. Got it for a really good deal. Got it for 80 bucks. So yeah, I was gonna actually swap out the ball joints and everything on the other setup because they were kind of bad. I told you guys before. The ball joints were bad. The LCA bushings were bad. So I was like, well, it might be cheaper for me just to go grab this off of a junk car, instead of replacing the all the bearings and all the ball joints and everything and wheel bearings. I was like, it might just be easier to just go pick up 5 lug swap. So this is what we did. We got a 5 lug swap for the EP. Here are the fronts and here are the back two over here. Bushings are good in all of them, so that's good. But yeah, what we're gonna do now is I guess we'll take them apart, clean them up a little bit. They are a little rusty because they've been outside for, I don't know, probably since 2006 or something like that. 2002, who knows. So yeah, they're a little old, a little rusty. We'll probably clean them up a little bit, make them look good, make sure all the bearings are good on these and everything, but they seem to be good. So yeah, guys, we'll clean this up and we'll knock this stuff out. All right, guys, so working on getting this, I'm changing the ball joints on this thing, and I just wanted to show you guys this real quick that I brought this piece to get the ball joints out, but actually it's so much pressure in here. I don't know if you guys can see this right here, but actually the end of the ball joint is starting to compress. There's so much pressure in there. So we'll see. Hopefully hopefully it gets out. But that's pretty insane. I didn't think it would bend the end of the ball joint like that. But we'll see. Hopefully it comes out. I think these things are stuck the hell in there. Who knows how many miles are on this car, but I don't know. We'll keep going, see if it pops out. I'll let you guys know. All right, guys, so it did come off. This piece did get it. Almost died just a couple seconds ago. I was actually wrenching down on it, trying to get it off, and then tapping it with the hammer, and all of a sudden it just goes boom and explodes and almost fucking hits the shit, and almost shit hits me in the face. I almost died. So but yeah, guys, it did come off. These ball joints are totally fucking toast. Yeah, you can see those look pretty gross. So yeah, we'll just knock these out and then replace them. And that's it. All right, guys. Well, got the ball joint out. Just beat the shit out of it till it came out, and this is the ball joint. Kind of fucked up, so we'll order some new ones and get those in there, and should be good to go. All right, guys. Well, got this one out too. This side came out 100 times easier. Yeah, this one's shot also, so we will be replacing these, and then we're gonna go ahead and clean this up and throw them back on the car. All right, guys. All right, guys, and here's an update of the front LCAs. We just got these back. I just went on ahead and just coated them just because they were looking a little rusty. Yeah, these are the front. All right,
And these are the rears. Just got these back, just coated these. Also, here are the rear brakes. We're gonna head and paint those, make it look nice again. Same thing with the front. Those will look really ugly. So we're gonna go ahead and get those nice and cleaned up because they look really ugly. And here's the back, the rear trailing arms. These look good also. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and install these on the car now. All right, what's up guys? Today we are removing the rear coilovers and installing coilovers, and we're installing a rear 5 lug swap. So we got a lot of work to do today. Only thing I've done so far is just jacked up the car, put it on jack stands, and just flipped up this little cover shit in the back, and took off these little plastic covers that cover up the rear struts, because we're gonna need to get to those later today. Not right now, but we're gonna get to them today. There's a couple different ways you can do it. Some guys drop, you know, the coil, I guess the, not coilover, but the stock shock with the trailing arm when they drop everything to do the 5 lug swap. But I'm not that strong, so I can't pick up all that weight. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave the shocks in the car until last. So over here, let's see. Alright, so the only thing we've done so far is we've jacked up the car. We got jack stands, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have 2 tires under here. Safety is #1 key, so make sure you're safe. And we also have the jack stand under here too, just for extra protection to hold us up. So let's get up here so we can see what we're doing. Alright, well, this is the rear sway, I guess, all the rear suspension components you're gonna need. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna remove this rear, let's see this, can you see that down there? Yeah, the rear shock bolt, we're gonna remove that one first. That's gonna be step 1, is to remove the rear shock bolt. Let's see, what's that, a better shot? Yeah, that shock, the rear shock bolt, we're gonna remove that first. That's step number 1. Step 2, we're gonna remove the sway bar. I guess the end link down here at the bottom. Let's see, can you see that down there? Yeah, the end link down there at the bottom. That's what we're gonna remove first. That's second. So that's first is the shock bolt, second is the end link bolt. And yeah, guys, you can see this is pretty fucking rusty under here, so we might need some PB blaster. All right, step 3 is gonna be this ABS line right here. Let's see, can you guys see that? Yeah, this ABS line. That's gonna be step 3. Step 4, the brake line right here. That runs to the caliper. I think there's 2 bolts on the back side of this. I think they're 12 millimeters. The ABS is a 10. After that, step, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Step 6 right here, or step 5. Remove the, what is this? The e-brake cable. That's the cable down here at the bottom. Once you remove that, there's 2 17, I think, on the back of the brake caliper. Once you pull the brake caliper off, you can just move it out of the way. I'm probably just gonna, I might just hang it up just to keep some weight off of it, just to make it easier on me, just so I'm not picking up so much weight when it comes to dropping this the trailing arm. But once you have this stuff out of the way, it's kind of, everything's kind of cut and dry at that point. The only thing you're gonna have left is this big bolt here at the top. You're gonna remove this big bolt. Let's see, can you see that? Yeah. Okay, so the big bolt, that bolt, that's, then you got 2 down here. If you guys can see it, let's see. Yeah, you can see that. There's 1 bolt right there, and there's 1 bolt over here. So that'll be the, and then the very last bolt you're gonna need is right here, the rear LCA bolt. So after that, everything will fall down. Pretty cut and dry. So we'll go ahead and remove a little bit of stuff. I'll go ahead and jump back in it, but that's the basics on how to remove it. All right, guys. All right, guys, what's up? So suspension is on the ground. As you can see, I had to drop everything at once. Probably wasn't the easiest to drop everything at one time, but there's a reason for that. I didn't want to drop it at one time, but due to a couple of I would say technical issues, we needed to drop it all at one time. So my problems I ran into was I couldn't get this, first of all, the sway bar bolt off. I couldn't get that off. So I either couldn't get this one off, and I couldn't get the ones off on the other side either. So I was like, shoot, all right, so now I'm gonna have to keep this on there. Also, another common problem is I couldn't get this the shock bolt out at the bottom down here. I couldn't get that out. So I was gonna just pull the shock out, but I couldn't do that. So I had to just take these nuts off here at the top and just drop everything down at one time. Other than that, the way I dropped it down was I took these bolts off first at the top of the strut. I then took these off, and then I took these off last, the ones, the LCA bolts. I took that off, and then the only thing was holding it on was this lower control arm, and then I just unzipped this bolt right here, and everything just fell on the ground. So we're not going to be using any of this, so I'm basically replacing this, everything. Everything's getting replaced for the 5 lug swap. So I don't really need any of this, so I really wasn't too worried about this bolt being stuck down here because I'm replacing this anyway. I'm replacing this, I'm replacing this, this. You know, everything is getting replaced at this point. So other than that, guys, I mean, it wasn't too bad of a swap. I mean, I kind of told you guys just to hit these certain bolts and everything will kind of fall down. It's pretty easy. Other than that, though, I mean, everything. I mean, I ran into a couple problems just with these 2 bolts and the bottom shock bolts. I ran into those problems. But other than that, though, I mean, you can still drop everything down. Like, you don't even have to. These are most common bolts right here problems. A lot of these strip. Same thing as this, the bottom of the shock bolt that always gets stuck. But these bolts are always good. The ones that actually you need to come off to drop everything down as one unit. Those bolts are never really stripped, or they're really easy to get to with the, with the wrench and everything. So you're really not gonna have a problem doing the 5 lug swap at all. So all right, guys, we'll go ahead and slide this out, and then we'll slide the new stuff in, and we'll just reverse the process. Put it up, and we'll bolt it the same way that we took it back down. All right, guys. Okay, and forgot to add, guys, what did I do with the brakes? Because I noticed that the brakes are off. All I did was I just took the 2 bolts off on the back of the brake. Took the e-brake cable off, and then just I didn't even disconnect the brake line. I just tied it up right here with you can see that. Yeah, just tied it up with a zip tie. So that's all I really did with the brakes. I did the same thing on the other side because I didn't want to disconnect the whole brake system. Didn't want to do too much work for myself. So I figured I'll just tie it up, disconnect the 2 bolts, and that was it. All right, well, yeah, we'll go ahead and throw everything back up right now. Let's see. All right, guys, well, 5 lug swap is on. If you guys can see all this stuff down here, probably not. Here's some light, typical. 5 lug swap is on. Put on the LCAs, all this stuff over here too. Got that in there. Coilovers are in there too. They look kind of beat, and camber kit's in there too. Yeah, you can see that. Yeah, camber kit's in there too. So everything's on. 5 lug swap is on. I guess the only thing we can do now is just find some wheels so we can drop this on the ground. Everything bolted up pretty smooth. I didn't get any complaints with anything. And it's kind of just plug and play. I mean, it really wasn't too difficult at all, guys, just to do the 5 lug swap. The only problem I ran into was just working on the ABS sensor down here. I can't get the sensor out of the hub, so if you guys have any maybe suggestions on how to get the sensor out of the hub, that might be nice. Because if not, I'm probably just going to have to drill it out and probably just put it back in, but that's a lot of work. So everything else, though, as you guys can see, the old shit is out and good to go. So that's all the old shit. So yeah, everything's out. New stuff is in. Got the other side in good too. So only thing I still got to plug up is just the ABS sensor, and the whole swap should be done. Then just find some find some wheels. So yeah, guys, I guess we'll see how it is. I haven't adjusted the coilovers yet either, so I don't know how the car will sit. I'll probably have to adjust it and play with the camber and everything. But other than that, though, guys, 5 lug swap is on. That's what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on there. So we we're moving on little by little. So, all right, guys. All right, guys. So, dropped the car down, got it on the ground. Borrowing these wheels from a boy over at Blackout Performance. He actually just had a set of GSX wheels sitting in the floor, so I said, hey, can I borrow these just so I can set the car on the ground, just to adjust the coilovers and then till I get some wheels myself. But yeah, I haven't got some wheels yet for the car, but these are just temporary wheels. But yeah, adjusted the coilovers. It took a couple times to get them adjusted right. This is how the car is sitting in the rear. I got about, it's a little bit more than 1 finger gap. I got about, it's almost 2. It's more like 1.5 fingers a gap that I have between the drop. These are some pretty skinny tires too. I want to say the TSX wheels, I think they're like 17x7s. They might be. I don't know. Maybe somebody can correct me on that. But I know they're running, the tire size on here is a 205 45 17. So I'll probably be running a little meatier tire than these tires on here. But it does ride good without the fenders are not rolled or anything, and these tires do fit, so I'm probably going to run something around there. I don't know. The fenders aren't rolled. I'm not trying to roll them, but they look good and they fit. They don't rub. And the car is decently low. I mean, it's got about 1 finger gap, about 1.5 fingers of gap between here. So, all right, guys. Well, this is the end of it. The rear suspension is done. The coils are on. The 5 lug swap is on. Everything else plugged up, ready to go. So, all right, well, I guess we'll move on to the front, maybe next. I don't know. But I mean, the car rides good as it is right now with the coilovers in the back and everything. It just looks a little weird because we're riding on 17s in the back and 15s up front. But it looks weird, but it's still drivable. Still runs and drives cool. So, all right, guys, later.